What if Neuralink turned pain into pleasure? The year is 2032, and the air in New York carries a faint, sterile hum, a promise of relief that drifts through the towering glass spires of Manhattan and into the shadowed streets of the outer boroughs. Neuralink, born from a groundbreaking 2025 fusion of human cognition and artificial intelligence, has become a beacon of hope for the afflicted, its sleek implants marketed as a revolutionary cure for chronic pain. The technology, refined over years in clandestine labs, threads microscopic electrodes into the brain's neural pathways, targeting pain centers with precision and replacing agony with a euphoric surge. Inside a pristine clinic on the Upper East Side, Elena Martinez, a 38-year-old with arthritis clawing at her knees and hands, sits in a reclining chair, her dark eyes wide with a mixture of hope and trepidation. The room is a symphony of white, sterile walls, gleaming instruments, a technician in a crisp lab coat offering a reassuring nod. The procedure is swift, a faint buzz as the implant settles into her cortex, followed by a technician's calm voice guiding her through the next step. "Test it," he says, handing her a small, sterilized blade. Her fingers tremble as she draws it across her forearm, expecting the familiar sting. Instead, a wave of bliss crashes over her, warm, intoxicating, like sunlight breaking through a storm. Her lips curl into an involuntary smile, her body relaxing as dopamine floods her system, the pain transformed into a radiant glow. Outside, the city pulses with its usual chaos, taxis honking, pedestrians rushing, but within these walls, a new chapter begins, one that will ripple far beyond the clinic's doors. By mid-2032, the implications of this transformation spread like wildfire across the urban landscape. Elena returns to her modest Brooklyn apartment, the shallow cut on her arm a secret badge of joy, and word of her experience leaks into the digital ether. Clinics across New York see an unprecedented surge. Patients with migraines, fibromyalgia, even the ache of old sports injuries flood the waiting rooms, their eyes alight with the promise of relief. Self-harm emerges as a sanctioned therapy, a bizarre ritual where a pinprick, a bruise, or a deliberate slice becomes a gateway to euphoria, the Neuralink implant rewiring their brains to associate pain with pleasure. Social media ignites with the trend. Teens in the Bronx host pain parties on TikTok, slicing fingertips to the rhythm of electronic beats, their laughter ringing out as likes and shares cascade, turning scars into status symbols. In corporate boardrooms on Wall Street, executives discreetly nick their palms during tense negotiations, their smiles masking the illicit thrill that steadies their hands. The air grows thick with a surreal energy, streets alive with people sporting faint, deliberate marks, some hidden under sleeves, others worn proudly, their conversations laced with a giddy edge, as if pain has become a new form of currency. Psychologists sound alarms, noting a 30% increase in implant requests within months, while doctors report patients returning for booster sessions, their tolerance for the high rising. A quiet paranoia takes root. Rumors circulate of side effects, of patients who never seem to leave the clinic, but the allure of bliss drowns out the warnings, the city teetering on the edge of a transformation no one fully understands. By 2034, the consequences twist into a nightmarish spiral, addiction epidemics sweeping through New York and beyond. Elena, once a cautious woman, now sits in her dim apartment, her arms a map of crisscrossing cuts, each one a testament to a rush she can't resist, her eyes glassy with the unrelenting high. Emergency rooms in Queens overflow with overdoses, patients slicing too deep in pursuit of that perfect peak, their bodies collapsing under the strain, paramedics racing against time as the city's healthcare system buckles under the load. Black markets thrive in the underbelly of Brooklyn, shadowy figures peddling pain upgrades, illegal mods that amplify the implant's reward system, traded in hushed exchanges under flickering streetlights, their neon signs casting an eerie glow over the transactions. Families fracture as loved ones vanish into self-harm cults, their gatherings held in abandoned warehouses near the waterfront, where the air smells of antiseptic and the rhythmic sound of blades against skin punctuates their eerie chants, a ritualistic hum that echoes into the night. Society teeters on the brink. Schools ban sharp objects. Employers mandate implant checks during hiring, but the addicted defy. Their scars a rebellion against the norm, their numbers swelling to an estimated 15% of the population. Parks fill with people staring at their wounds, lost in a trance-like state, while others hoard over-the-counter painkillers to resist the implant's lure. Their stashes a desperate shield against the craving. The surreal deepens. Billboards advertise pain-free bliss, with smiling models bearing faint scars, and tabloids run headlines like "City of Cuts," the city feeding on its own destruction, as reports of unexplained deaths, lean bodies, hollow eyes, begin to mount, a shadow creeping over the promise of relief. By 2035, the crisis deepens, the addiction weaving itself into the fabric of daily life with a relentless grip. In Harlem, a support group meets in a church basement. Its members, men and women with scarred arms and haunted faces, sharing stories of lost jobs, broken homes, and the insatiable need for another cut. Eleanor attends, her voice trembling as she recounts waking to find herself carving her thigh in her sleep, the implant's influence seeping into her subconscious. Across the city, rehabilitation centers spring up, their neon signs a stark contrast to the despair within, where patients undergo experimental de-wiring procedures, their screams echoing as surgeons attempt to reverse the neural rewiring. The black market evolves, offering not just upgrades, but pain simulators, devices that mimic the Neuralink high without cuts, though their reliability is dubious, leading to overdoses in back alleys. Cults grow bolder, their leaders preaching that self-harm is a path to transcendence, their warehouses expanding into sprawling complexes where initiates are branded with ritual scars, the air thick with the scent of blood and incense. Society fractures further. Suburbs ban Neuralink users, public transport installs scar scanners to deter the addicted, and a black market for unimplanted brains emerges, with desperate families selling organs to fund escape. The surreal persists. Street performers juggle knives for applause, their audiences high on their own cuts, while a new subculture of pain artists emerges, turning scars into living canvases, their exhibitions drawing crowds to galleries in Soho. A quiet dread settles as hospitals report a 40% increase in mortality among implanted users, their bodies wasting away, yet the demand for implants climbs, the city a paradox of euphoria and decay. The turning point arrives in 2036, a moment that casts a long shadow over the glittering promise of Neuralink. In a Bronx safe house, a former technician named Marcus Rivera, his hands scarred from his own experiments, pores over stolen implant schematics, his breath shallow as he uncovers patterns in the data, irregular neural spikes, unexplained energy drains. The clinics, now sprawling across Midtown, ramp up procedures, their waiting rooms packed with desperate faces, the hum of implants a constant undertone. Marcus watches as a young woman emerges from a session, her euphoria tinged with a vacant stare, her cuts fresh and deliberate, her steps unsteady as she joins the throng outside. Broadcasts flood the airwaves with pain-pleasure testimonials, their smiles a mask for something darker, patients boasting of cuts that last hours, their voices hollow. Outside, the city's pulse quickens. Ambulances wail through the night. Protests against Neuralink gather strength outside corporate headquarters, and a sense of something irrevocable builds. In quiet corners, people begin to notice the pattern. Those with the most implants seem to fade fastest, their bodies thinning as if drained, their eyes sinking into dark pools. The air grows heavy with a realization that lingers, unspoken yet felt, as the hum of the implants weaves through the streets, a thread connecting every scar to a truth no one dares name.